Hi and welcome to another Stax video tutorial. This time we're going to have a look at adding a radio button group. Radio buttons are a convenient way of presenting your user with a choice of different options to select. At a later point we can then capture that when they submit the information. So I've loaded up my test application and it's already got some form fields on there. And now I'm going to add some radio buttons. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag in a new group, and the group is going to contain our radio buttons so we know they're all together. This is important if you want to provide an either or radio button group so they can only select a single option. After I've got my group in place, I'm then going to drag in some button controls. I've decided this time that I'm going to have two radio buttons, and they're going to be for selecting gender, so they're going to be for either male or female. Now after I've repositioned the radio, I'm then going to drag in some button images. These are just images of round buttons like you see in most applications. And I'm going to repeat that for the second radio button. So once my buttons are in place, I'm then going to start wiring up the functionality. So the first thing to do is to make sure the group's selected, and then what I need to do is change the group type to choice. I'm also going to set the mandatory option to yes and the on option to submit button. So just to run through those controls, the validate as mandatory means that they have to select an option before the form will submit, and the on option is the button that submits the data. So once they've made the choices and filled in the form, the data will only be stored once they select that specific button. Now just to make things a bit more intelligible to the user, I'm also going to add in two text controls as labels for each of the radio buttons. So the first one is going to be male, type that in and then position it. And then to speed things up a bit, I'm just going to copy that text control and then paste it again. So that saves me having to drag in a new text control from the palette. Once that's pasted in, I'm then going to change it to say female, and I'm going to position it next to the other radio button. So once all the layout's done, I then need to test it. So I'm going to go to the publish menu and publish the application, and then I'm going to switch over to my browser to make sure that it's working okay. So here the test application's loaded in Facebook, and I'm going to click the radio buttons, and as you can see, if I select male, it unselects female and vice versa. I've also got validation on the form, so when I click submit, it comes up saying that I haven't filled in the other form details. And that's all there is to adding a radio group to your Stax application. I hope this was useful.